Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and Game 3 in a best of 3 matchup between Millennium's Todd and Empire DieStar. Game 3 taking place on Lost Temple. So Todd spawning as the red Protoss at the 9 o'clock position, meanwhile DieStar spawning at the ally spawn at the 12 o'clock location. So this will be a Terran versus Protoss. Once again, the players didn't decide to change up their strategies all too much. And yeah, thanks for reminding me to put in my intro. Sometimes I forget. Just trying to pump out these videos for you guys, and I get a little bit lazy. So yeah, included the intro this time. Hopefully you guys will remember that it is me, Crota, shoutcasting these videos for you. Pretty much the game should open up as any standard game. A little bit odd building the supply depot back over here, but perhaps Todd, when he tries to scout out, will not notice where exactly DieStar is. Sometimes a probe doesn't make its way far enough inside the base in order to see exactly that command center. So if DieStar just continues to build barracks over here and here, he may actually completely trick his opponent into thinking that he spawned somewhere else. No, he's actually going to build a supply depot or the barracks here. So no, that supply depot on that backside, more to make sure that, or to give us some additional sight and make sure that there are no drops coming in from the backside or any proxy pylon play. A probe now making its way out from Todd. Todd will quickly be able to find his opponent and start harassing his opponent in just a second. That probe harassing that one SCV, trying to just work so hard, trying to build that barracks, but that probe just wants some of its oil or some of its blood. So Stevie the SCV now going after Peppy the probe, but Stevie's twin brother decided to come in and help out and join in on the fight as well. Stevie now going to go ahead and do some scouting in this location. Todd opting to go for an assimilator gateway assimilator into a pylon. He should be getting up a Cybernetics core the moment that gateway is done. And as soon as that gateway is done, getting that Cybernetics core. No, going for a second. Whoa, I was going to say, Todd. I was going to say, what are you doing with that assimilator there? Not quite that time yet. Opting to go for a Cybernetics core instead. There it is. There's that Cybernetics core. It was a little bit delayed, but not too much. A Zealot now going to warp out of that gateway and perhaps try to deal some damage towards this towards this one SCV. We can see that there is currently a probe over here, so that probe just activating that Zonaga watchtower should be able to gain sight if there are any early Marines and Marauders. More Marines still being trained as we are now going into a factory. DieStar, if he goes for that second Vespene Geyser, I've tried to predict Banshees the past couple of games. He always proves me wrong, so I'm not going to predict Banshees, even though he is going for that second refinery now, and maybe he's going to... I don't know. I would like to say that he's going to be going for Banshees, as Banshee harassment does work out pretty well here on Lost Temple, as you can use this cliff over here in order to deal some damage and then hide your units in a little bit. You can see that SCV now wandering all the way back home. The probe is on patrol, and here I believe that units put probes on patrol just so that it's just stationary, and it will go back and forth, activate that Zonaga watchtower, and also attack back if need be. There are 4 Marines on that high ground, and now we see a tech lab being trained, and now we see another barrack, so it is not going to be any Banshee play. 4 Marines now being separated, and now the Marines are going to just start shooting at that Zealot. The Zealot taking some damage already, and now one Zealot and one Stalker and Zealot Marines now trying to fight back and forth. The Hellion coming in to join in on the fight, but the Hellion not going to really be able to deal all too much damage towards that Stalker. But perhaps he realized, Todd realized that a Marauder may be coming out, losing 1 Zealot for 3 Marines. That was a pretty decent trade there, as we now have the factory lifted off in order to do some scouting. So that 1 Hellion was there just to make sure that if there was a mass Zealot rush, the Hellion could deal some damage. And now the factory being used in order to scout. Another barrack should be coming in. DieStar liking to go mass infantry from the games I've seen so far. And we should also be getting some meta back. And oh, the one Stalker able to escape away. No concussive shell on the Marauder, and able to pull back. So stim pack being researched before concussive shell. 1 factory in the air. That Stalker, it will be able to get some damage onto that factory. The factory perhaps wants to do a little bit more scouting as an observer now makes its way in. So Todd going for a very, very early robotics bay, and this very early robotics bay, and with Colossus may be able to simply attack, move into this base. I do not believe there is going to be that many Vikings in the air to counter it, and if he does get 2 to 3 Colossus, if he's able to pump out Zealots and Colossus, that will be a lot of damage to be had. In comes a Hellion now, so the Hellion going to try to deal some damage, and no force field at all. And that Hellion deciding to back off. The Stalker will be able to get off perhaps 3 shots. No, unable to get that final shot off there, as the sentries are now just trying to shoot down this factory. He does see the robotics bay. So Empire DieStar does see the robotics bay, but where is that? Where's the support bay? Down over here. So the robotics, sorry, he sees the facility, but he doesn't see the report bay. And now DieStar may just continue to fly, and now sees that there is a robotics bay there, and knows that Colossus are going to be coming in the future. But now there is also a drop coming in. So a very, very early drop of Marines and Marauders with Stimpak now completing just at the right time. Absolutely brilliant timing on this drop, as the Zealots are now coming in. So the Zealots perhaps saw that drop now trying to come in, and now we are going to get a drop into this location here. Marines and Marauders, they are now being stimmed already. Zealots coming in and picking up those units, and now wasting the energy on that sentry. The factory going to blow up in the base of Todd, but Todd doesn't really care, as the factory somehow just disintegrates, and yeah, a lot of that mass is lost. Anyways, back here, an observer on the low ground. Both players opting to go for one base play. This is pretty non-norm, non-standard from high-level players. And now in comes another medevac. Is this a different meta? I cannot see that medevac. I know it's there. I know it's there. Oh my gosh, how do I click on the medevac that's over on that side? Yeah, so that medevac is on that side over here, unable to get to it, and now finally coming into view, a Colossus now coming in as well. So the Marauders and Marines are just going to simply get torched very easily. The Colossus didn't even take any serious damage, as it was able to just recharge with shields, but the Marauders and Marines now trying to take down the robotics bay. The robotics bay does get taken down and able to escape. So DieStar now just doing multiple drops in different locations, trying to maximize its damage. And now the Stalker is coming back in once again. Is the drop going to come in from the south? Yes, another drop in from the south, perhaps to shut down even more of those pylons. Another Marine should be heading out of there, and now those units are once again giving chase towards these units over here. So another gateway is up. Will Todd? No, Todd will not be able to catch up to DieStar, as these units, as the medevac was trying to be saved, dropping off the rest of those Marines. But that one Phoenix was in the air to finish off that medevac. The medevac was fortunately, though, pretty much empty. So no Marines lost in that one video, or in that one destruction of that medevac. Nothing in its cargo base. A bunker now being placed down by faculty. Robotics bay once again being rebuilt. Robotics bay does take a little bit of time to build, 65 seconds, and then we should probably be seeing more and more Colossus. 2 Colossus are currently in play. Another Phoenix now being trained, and Todd has to be careful that he doesn't get too many Phoenixes. The Phoenixes are effective against the medevacs and can shoot down the medevacs pretty effectively, but and maybe also absorb some damage from the Vikings, but that is essentially it. Those Colossus are going to be the real backbone of this army. We are also getting some sentries as well, as the Stalker now in full retreat. Scanner sweep revealing that there is a nexus down here, so I believe that is going to be DieStar's cue to try to do a little bit of a push, as 400 minerals spent on that nexus, and it has done absolutely nothing for its owner so far. Todd also has a number of warp gates. He should be able to warp in some additional units. Yeah, all with plenty of cooldown, but he is currently supply locked. So trying to get in 2 additional pylons as well. Also getting another assimilator. Phoenix is on the move. Perhaps going to graviton beam that Hellion. That would have been a very, very easy target to shoot down. Down it goes. The observer is just still wandering around. A command center will be placed down in just a moment. Faculty already has it built, so it will just take some time to upgrade to an orbital command. Phoenix is now coming in and now going after some SCVs. So 1 SCV now down, a second SCV now going to get taken down. 2 Vikings trying to chase down that last Phoenix, or 3 Vikings now. So 3 Vikings trying to chase on the Phoenix. The Phoenix is faster, significantly faster than those Vikings, so that Phoenix should just be able to get away with relative ease. Back over here, we have more Phoenixes still being trained, Zealots on the ground, Colossus still standing tall, more extended thermal lance range now being researched. Another Colossus should be added to that army in just a moment, as Todd now sits on 200 gas. There it is. More and more units are now still being trained, as this one Phoenix, I believe, just shot down. I'm not sure what he shot down. Perhaps Graviton beamed the unit in order to let the Stalker finish it off. Medevac with Marauders and Marines going to try to do another drop along the backside, and Todd moving out at perhaps at just the wrong time. So the Marines and Marauders are going to be able to drop in, finish off many of those units. and now getting a lot of damage across multiple units. Once again, Zealots now coming in the charge. Stalker trying to get some damage onto this medevac. The medevac is currently low on hit points and will get shot down by those Phoenixes. Phoenix is now getting it down to 33-17. It is now down, losing 3 Marines in the process. Marauders and Marines using that stutter step in order to try to shoot down and maximize the damage against those probes, but Colossus able to finish it up. 33-75 versus 33-50. The game pretty much neck and neck. No one with a serious advantage at all income-wise. DieStar does have a slightly stronger economy as he's been able to effectively harass Todd's economy throughout this matchup. There are now Vikings in the air, so a decent number of Vikings. 7 Vikings in the air along with Marauders and Marines. Quick scanner sweep revealing that observer. Down it goes. And now the Vikings want some Colossi. So the Vikings perhaps going to try to come in, going to be able to get 2 shots off. No, the Phoenixes are now coming in. Oh, down goes a Phoenix instead. So the Vikings just dancing with that range, using that shoot and attack method, almost able to shoot down another Phoenix. So 2 Phoenixes have been shot down already. Just the sheer number of Vikings getting a lot of damage in. More Phoenixes and Stalkers are trying to join in on that fight as well. And the Vikings in a very, very nice position, going after some of those Colossus. 1 Stalker on the north side, and the Vikings, deciding not to get a round of Lancer torpedoes. Marines now going to try to instead do a push, and will it be enough? The Colossi are very, very far back, so it will be some time before the Zealots, before they are within range. And now another round of Vikings, just another round of torpedoes, getting another Colossus in transition. Nicely done. Marines and Marauders now trying to come in. There is only 1 medevac in the air though, so that is a bit of a surprise. Only 1 medevac to support such a large infantry army. Level 1 ground upgrades nearing completion, so Colossi will be able to deal 34 damage per swipe against those Marines, essentially almost killing them in 1 shot after the use of Stimpack. There is not that many medevacs in play, and now Vikings once again going after more units, and down goes, oh no, doesn't take down another Phoenix. That Phoenix now down to 20 hit points. Marauders playing a very, very dangerous game against those Stalkers. Army-wise, 5,000 versus 4575. As both players are just continuing to mine, you can see that DieStar is not going for any additional gas at his expansion just quite yet. Happy to live off of 1 gas as the fight continues. Back over here, Vikings now trying to fight back against those Phoenixes. Marauders and Marines using that Stimpack, both sides battling it out. The Vikings are now pretty much unchallenged in the air to finish off those Colossus. Zealots are now being trapped by those Marines on his own force fields, and now that 1 Colossus needs to pull back, needs to be very careful. However, it may get focused down. Both sides fighting back and forth. This 1 Colossus will get shut down in just a second. Down it goes, and now this Marine Marauder army with 2 medevacs may be able to continue this push and perhaps damage this expansion. There is 1 Colossus here, and well, that 1 Colossus getting so many kills already. 8 kills the instant it came out, and a very nice hot pickup by DieStar, saving what would have been an overextension of his attack, so that 1 Colossus came online at just the right moment, and now trying to regroup at this Xel'Naga watchtower. DieStar perhaps with a little bit of a lead now, after he was able to just damage many of those Colossus. Those Colossus, although they are expensive units, the real suffering blow is the fact that the Colossi takes so long to build. 75 seconds. Phoenix is now trying to come back in. Perhaps they could have graviton beamed a couple of those mules and tried to deal some more damage. The Phoenixes realize that they can't really deal all too much, but there's not that many Marines. And that is a bit of a surprise that there's not that many Marines there, but there are some Vikings, and the Vikings going to shoot down a Phoenix there, and the Phoenix now deciding to back off. 2300 versus 1775. Slight income advantage for DieStar still, as more units are still being macroed up. Production-wise, the Mobius reactor nearing completion, or the Mobius reactor nearing research completion, so we should be seeing some Ghost as well. And Ghost will have 75 energy to start, 4 Marauders, and more units still being trained up continually. So both players running off of 2 bases, now essentially almost 1 base, as Todd now down to only 25 minerals in his main base. He needs to figure out what exactly he can do. He has lost a little bit more resources, and he has also probably mined more resources. As you can see, the main base here still has a decent number of mineral patches, although they are relatively low. 555, 665, 220, 235. Probes now being transferred to the low ground expansion. Todd now beyond saturation at his natural expansion. Probably should cap out at about 800 to 850 minerals a minute. Meanwhile, DieStar's mining out about 1,000 minerals a minute, and I don't think he's even using those mules as much. Yeah, there's no mules currently in play, so his straight advantage is that he has more mineral patches to work off of. Production-wise, Vikings now trying to come in. Production-wise, more Vikings and Colossi being trained, and now Vikings just trying to get in as much damage as possible. Four Colossi fighting back and forth. One Colossus has been taken down, two Colossus has been taken down, Marauders and Marines, and now, wow, Todd in a very, very nice position. Probes coming off the mineral line as the rest of the Vikings going after the Phoenixes instead. And will those Colossi be able to deal more damage? Zealots continuing to give chase. Metabats are now getting shot down. And Todd in a very dominant position now. Not enough Vikings to counter those Colossus. Two Colossus just making his day. And now only Marauders are left. Those Marauders are going to have a little bit of a problem. Perhaps they're going to get Graviton Beam. Marines now trying to shoot down some of those Phoenixes. But yeah, this army is just going to get shot down or shut down completely. Down it goes. Two Marauders left. Down they go as well. Production-wise, Vikings and Marauders are trying to be retrained. DieStar in full defensive mode now. He needs to be able to hold off against two Colossus, which will be knocking on that front door in just a moment, and a lot of sentries adding an additional 2 armor to his group. You can see that the Stalkers have no armor upgrades, but with that 2 additional armor from those sentries, just taking a lot of reduced damage. Marauders are now down in play as well. More sentries being warped in. No proxy pylon. That is a bit of a surprise, as a Marine by DieStar looking for another expansion. He believes that there's no way that Todd could currently be having such a large dominant army, but he does. Income wise, 1,600, so almost double now, and that is currently because of the 3 mules in play, and now going after those mules, neutralizing those mules. And now you can see that DieStar is in trouble once again. The Phoenix is able to back off even further. And now another Nexus being placed down here. This one Marine is on patrol between these 2 locations and will quickly spot out that one, that one Nexus in just a moment. Phoenix is still on the move. This one probe down to 10 hit points. The Marine now still going back to patrol. Perhaps we'll be able to scout it out. There is a Phoenix over here. Is the Phoenix going to pick up that Marine and shoot it down? Yeah, it's going to pick up the Marine. Come on, pick it up. Not enough energy? Not enough energy yet. There it goes. Finally, it's going to pick up the Marine, shoot it out of the sky. And now DieStar will not be able to know that there is an expansion over there at the 6 o'clock natural expansion location. We now see a lot of Ghost Vikings in the air. Army-wise, 1,000 advantage in gas and minerals coming in from Todd. DieStar now salvaging his bunkers as probes being transferred to the natural expansion here. It is up and operational, so those probes will not do the walk of shame and just be able to mine out that base pretty effectively. Back here, Vikings are still being trained. More barracks are still training up more and more Marauders. And now with the sheer number of Colossus with that extended thermal lance range, and I thought he was going for a level 1 weapons upgrade. Did I completely misread that? Yeah, I completely misread that. No weapons upgrade at all. Phoenixes just containing Terran. Terran has nothing he can really do at this stage. Only 4 mineral patches left. And as those SCVs are going to get shot down, and Vikings are now trying to come in, able to destroy many of those Phoenixes, and the Vikings backing off even further. So more Stalkers should be trained in order to counteract those Vikings. But I believe the Phoenixes, if they can go to town on Vikings, the Vikings are going to be trying to shoot down many of those Phoenixes. The Phoenixes have a decent number of hit points, and the Phoenixes also have the level 1 weapons upgrade, so they will be dealing 20% more damage against those Vikings as opposed to no upgrades. Oh, EMP, Shockwave all over the place, and now the Phoenixes are just absorbing much of the attack. And from those Vikings, the Vikings, by focusing on those Phoenixes, allow the Colossi to just sit back, relax, use that extended thermal lance. The Vikings are now trying to come in, and there's the GG. So DieStar losing to Todd in a best-of-3 series here on Lost Temple. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this game and this series between Millennium Todd and Empire DieStar.